We train for active shooter training once a month. We have to pressure test our officers. Let's put them under some serious pressure to see if they can respond to these calls.
We'd like to hear what you think about the topic. Leave us a comment below.
There's two basic expectations of campus law enforcement, and that is to provide a safe environment and keep them out of harm's way.
Are you doing more training than a typical college campus would?
I would say absolutely.
We have to pressure test our officers. Let's put them under some serious pressure. Every call is the unknown.
We got to come to work, we got to be ready, expecting the worst and hope for the best.
A $13 million security upgrade. Do college campuses get that?
Typically not. It's very unique here in Virginia. We're the only school that has this security feature. It'll never happen here. I've heard those comments in my career, my 34-year career. I've heard people say, it'll never happen here, and things happen. My name is Mike Marshall. I'm the Chief of Police for the Virginia Military Institute.
How many cadets, students, go here?
We average per year 1,700 cadets stay in these barracks. It's not like your traditional college where they get to live off campus. They're here the entire time, their cadetship.
VMI is unique in the type of VIP visitors that you get. Who all has come here?
We've had several presidents, several vice presidents. Recently, Vice President Pence was here. We have Secretary of the Army, Secretary of the Navy, Air Force.
This could very well be a target at any time.
It could be, and that's why we have to plan for the worst and hope for the best.
Talk to me about where we're sitting.
Today we're sitting in what we call the Emergency Operations Center. It's a location that has been established when we have to address critical situations that occur on post or could possibly be adjacent to our post. When I refer to post, it's our campus.
And this is not just for emergencies. You use this all the time so that you can be prepared in case of an emergency.
Yes, we stand up when we have any type of incident or sporting event that we call a large mass, where people can gather more than typically 1,000, and we stand it up due to the risk factors.
When parents send their students here to VMI, they're entrusting you.
Yes.
And how seriously do you take that job?
I truly am confident that they believe that there's two basic expectations of campus law enforcement, and that is to protect their kids, provide a safe environment, and keep them out of harm's way. We train for active shooter training once a month. We have an active shooter committee, and it's chaired by the captain of the police department and two other individuals that are in lead roles that is part of our special emergency response team. And what they do is they sit down and they lay out the training for the year on how we're going to address the needs of our community and what are the trends that we're seeing. And then after the training, they look at our policies. They review our policies. Are we in compliance? Do we need to make changes? And then the actual drill takes place twice a year. And so they train for 6 months, then they have to partake in a drill. That's where they come to this EOC, they get the scenario.
Have a report of an active shooter on location.
They respond, and then we test them. And what we do is we put them up under what we call the pressure test.
Your hands up, boys!
We want to put the hardest conditions in front of them. Because if they're going to make a mistake, we want them to make it in training, not the day or the evening when they're responding to that high-risk call. We have to be more proactive in our training, and also we have to pressure test our officers. Let's put them under some serious pressure to see if they can respond to these calls. Also part of that training is equipment. We make sure we have all the latest and greatest tools that are out there.
What we have here is a breaching kit, which includes a ram. So if a door is locked, barricaded in, we can use the ram. If someone has taken a chain and locked the door, then we have a bolt cutters. It's called a soft shield, so it gives them extra protection. It's called a night angel. And what it does is you can throw it down the hallway and light up the hall so that gives you the upper hand. And then each vehicle does have a drop down for their rifle. They also have a shotgun.
So what's the importance of having all of these tools in every single police car?
That way we're always prepared. If an officer gets to a scene and he doesn't have what he needs, then we're putting him at a disadvantage. So with every car being equipped with this, when they get to the car, they know we're giving them what they need to succeed and go home safe, is what our goal is.
And you build up those tools by studying what has happened in other situations?
Yes, it started from the Virginia Tech shooting. We did a self-audit ourselves of the police department based off of some of the situations that law enforcement encountered that day. And we decided, how can we make it better? We've got to do something to remember the people that paid the ultimate sacrifice that day. You know, they gave their life. And let's do something proactive instead of reactive. And so our mindset here is proactive, proactive, proactive. I call it the 3 Ps.
Let's talk about Uvalde real quick, because this was important for you to sit down with me because you wanted people to know that law enforcement can and should do better.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
Law enforcement, when you don this badge, you take on a certain amount of risk. And that day we saw the risk factor was there. You're going to resort to your training. And there's 2 simple factors when I evaluated. I spent the entire day on a Saturday watching this event unfold and the constant news coverage. That's my role as a police chief. What can we do to make things safer in our community? And what I saw that day, I was not there. But what I can evaluate, I've had over 20 years experience training people in active shooter situations. And what I saw was you either had people did not receive the training, or they did receive the training and they did not follow the training protocols.
Are you doing more training than a typical college campus would?
I would say absolutely. I would say a lot of CERT teams aren't training once a month. I would say that we put ourselves in a good situation to succeed. With
the way the world is today, do you wake up and come to work and think this could be the day?
I would have to say, as in being a law enforcement officer, we have to. That's sort of our job. Of course, we hope that doesn't happen, but we're also doing the people that we try to protect on campus a disservice if we're not ready for that call.
The project will start here, and what will happen is we will have bollards that are mechanical that will come up out of the ground. So if we have a critical incident and we need to shut the post down immediately at our main entrances, this will be one that will have the mechanical bollards that will rise up out of the ground and stop people from coming onto post.
What is the reaction from other campus police chiefs when they hear of a $13 million security upgrade?
One said, "How did you pull that off, Mike?" and what I shared with it's an initiative that we all should be looking at in this profession. A life is priceless. The inner loop provides a different level of security that we have to focus on, and that's the movement of the Corps cadets on a daily basis. So how do we protect this roadway so cars cannot travel down when our Corps is lining up in front of the barracks for formations? So this will help us alleviate putting personnel. We can put the mechanical bollards in place. We'll be able to activate them from a phone. What we're looking at for is access control. Can we lock the buildings down? Cameras, so we can watch the person, as well as protection in the rooms where mass notification can be sent.
So we're here at the barracks. This is where the cadets live. Is this the most protected building on campus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. We start with a security plan that starts on the outside and it works its way all the way to each cadet room, where we have safety features embedded in that plan throughout.
And so on the outside, what kind of security features are we looking at?
We're looking at cameras on the outside that are viewed from our police department, and then we have cameras on the archways. Our cadets They have a guard room. The cadets can view the camera footage, live feed, on all the archways. So there are extra set of eyes and ears, so if they see something coming in the archway that's suspicious, they can call 911. At each archway we have gates that we can lock down manually.
So you definitely don't have a guard team on other college campuses watching over where students live.
No, ma'am, you do not. And they're responsible for the individuals that are moving around, making sure that the barracks are safe for our Corps cadets.
How proud are you of the work that your team does?
It's priceless. And that's one big word, it's priceless. The initiative and drive to make sure that these young cadets here can succeed. These are our future leaders, not only in the military, but leading corporations. These are people you're going to see one day sitting at the table as a CEO, CFO, and to be able to make this place a safe environment for them to achieve that standard. It's a big burden to carry on the police officer's shoulders. I couldn't be more proud of them. They make VMI here. I work for them.
Stay up to date with our latest Solutionaries videos. Hit subscribe and leave us a comment below.